I'm going to try and rather than do a part two of the last video, I'm just going to summarize really quickly the system failures that I want to talk about in a lot more detail beyond what a short is capable of. Number one, when I had a mental health crisis last week, my partner called the police to have me taken down to the hospital in Chilliwack here to be assessed psychiatrically, and that would have been the right course of action. Instead of taking me to the hospital, the police took me to jail, put me in a cell with absolutely nothing soft. So my sleep deprivation, which was exacerbating my condition, was further exacerbated. And they released me the next morning without any charges or anything because I didn't do anything wrong other than I had a mental health crisis. And they turned me loose on the streets. They didn't call my partner. They didn't take me to the hospital. They didn't do anything to make sure I was going to be okay other than say, you're free to go. So after spending another sleepless night, which was probably my third by that point, I spent it in jail awake. I sang to keep myself soothed because I was really afraid, and they only checked on me every hour, if that. By sliding a window open, looking at me, and then sliding it closed. I felt like a caged animal in a fucking zoo. Anyway, pardon my language, but it's not directed at anyone. I'm just upset. Um, and the second failure happened when my partner came to pick me up after that and took me to the hospital. She had to leave to go take care of our family, and I waited hours and hours in the ER in the midst of mental health crisis with no supervision. My behavior deteriorated, and I ended up strapped to a bed all night that felt like torture. I had straps on my wrists. I have a nice bruise under here from the security team. I have other bruises on my body, and I laid awake for another night, strapped to a bed, wrists, legs bound, and another strap around my waist that wouldn't even let me pull my underwear up. So I had a very traumatic experience. And when they finally got me into the psych ward and just gave me a bed to sleep in, I slept it off and I woke up my normal self. My daughter also tried to do a wellness check with the police, and they dismissed her, invalidated her, and didn't do any follow up. There is a major failure of Canadian systems. I am in British Columbia, Canada, and I'm saying that because that's where the failures are, and that's who I'm speaking to. It's time for some change.